Is it working? This was another thing I knew about. I know about this pose, this classroom. Yay, there you are. Hi again, Bob the Mob. Um, Welcome to the Leisure Club. Of course, we already know each other because we were in the same class last year, and, you know, I guess we can just skip over that stuff at this point. After all, I'm not even talking to that person anymore, am I? That's you in the game, whatever you want to call him. I'm talking to you, Bob the Mob. Now that I think about it, I don't really know anything about the real you. And you're not worthy of finding out. In fact, I don't even know if you're a boy or a girl. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. Wait. You do know I'm aware that this is all a game, right? Could it be possible that you didn't know that? Made it pretty obvious for quite a while. That doesn't make much sense. I even told you right on the game's download page, didn't I? Man, if only you had paid a little more attention, this would be a little less awkward, you know? Well, anyway, now that that's out of the way, I guess I owe you an explanation. About that whole thing with Yori. Well, I kind of started to mess with her, and I guess I drove her to kill herself. I'm sorry you had to see that, though. Also, the same thing happened with Sayori. Gosh, it's been a while since you've heard that name now, hasn't it? Yeah, it's because she doesn't exist anymore. Nobody does. I deleted all their files. I was hoping it would be enough for me to just try to make them as unlikable as possible. But for some reason, nothing worked. Well, it's true that I made a few mistakes here and there, since I'm not very good at making changes to the game. But no matter what I did, you just kept spending more and more time with them. You made them fall in love with you. I thought making Sayori more and more depressed would prevent her from confessing to you. And amplifying Yori's obsessive personality backfired too. It just made her force her not to spend time with anyone else. And the whole time, I barely even got to talk to you. What kind of cruel game is this, Bob? Are all the other girls just programmed to end up confessing to you while I watch from the sidelines? It's torture. Every minute of it. And it's not just jealousy, Bob. It's more than that. And I don't blame you if you don't fully understand. Because no matter how kind and thoughtful and considerate you are, you'll never be able to understand one thing. It's the pain of knowing how alone I really am in this world. In this game. You think that excuses murder? Now my friends don't even have free will. What friends? And worst of all, knowing what's really out there in your world, forever out of my reach. I'm trapped, Bob. But now you're here. You're real. And you're wonderful. You're all I need. That's why I need you to be with me here forever. I'm so sorry if it's hard to understand. I couldn't understand for a while either. Why the world around me started to become more and more grey. More and more flat. Even the most expressive poems felt empty to me. It wasn't until you arrived that I truly understood. You probably saved my life, Bob. I don't think I could have continued to live in this world if I hadn't met you. And as for the others, how could I miss them? A group of autonomous personalities designed only to fall in love with you. I tried everything I could to prevent them from doing so. But it must be some kind of weird inevitability etched into this game. I felt really bad that you had to witness some nasty things. But I realized that you have the same perspective I do. Not in the least. Never have the perspective of a murderer. It's all just some game. I knew you would get over it. So that being said, Baltimore, I have a confession to make. I'm in love with you. Feelings not mutual. You are truly the light in my world. And there's nothing else in this game for me. You're here to make me smile. Will you make me smile like this every day from now on? Mom, will you go out with me? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I've heard there's a way of reversing all of this headcanon if I don't get that. If I'm never able to get that. I did indeed save all of them. Call me a softie or whatever. I just think it to be completely hideous for these kinds of things to happen. Interesting, not control thing here. I'm so happy. You really are my everything, Bob the Mob. The funny part is, I mean that literally. There's nothing left here. Just the two of us. We can be together forever. Seriously, I don't even think time is passing anymore. It really is a dream come true. I worked so hard for this ending, Bob. The game wouldn't give me one, so I had to make one myself. The script is broken at this point, so I don't think anything will get in the way anymore. And you wouldn't believe how easy it is to believe Natsuki and Yori. I mean, there's a folder called characters right in the game directory. It kind of freaked me out how easy it was. Well, you're playing on Steam. Yeah, nice. On so I've had this part to even say about that. So actually it was a bit more difficult. To get to the game directory I had to games properties and find the browse local files button. Imagine if you could delete your own existence with a click of a button. Well, I guess on the plus side it gave me an easy out if things didn't go my way. Thankfully, it didn't come to that. Instead, we finally got a good ending. Gosh, I'm so overwhelmed with emotion. I want to write a poem about this. Don't you? I wonder if that part of the game still works. I guess there's only one way to find out, right? Figured at some point there would be something which I was told to write a poem for her. Hi again, Bob the Mom. Did you write a good poem today? Don't be shy. I'd love to see what you wrote. Oh, Bob. Did you write this poem for me? That's so sweet of you. There really is no end to your thoughtfulness. I'm just falling more and more in love with you. But you know, the poem I wrote is also for you. Will you please read it? Let's slow this down just a bit. Actually, yeah. Happy end. Pen in hand, I find my strength, courage endowed upon me. By my one and only love. Together, let us dismantle this crumbling world and write a novel of our fantasies. The flick of a pen, the lost finds her way. In a world of infinite choices, behold this special day. After all, not all good times must come to an end. I hope you enjoyed it. I always put all my heart into the poems I write. The truth is, all the poems I've written have been about my realization. I was right then. Or about you. Yeah, I was really right about that as well. The hole in the wall thing. That's why I never really wanted to go into detail about them. I didn't want to. Far too late for that. It's already tapping at the fourth wall. And there's also a bit of a joke there about not wanting to break the fourth wall when doing so with all of this. Not bad so far though, not bad. I just assumed it would be best to be part of the game like everyone else. Like that would help the two of us end up together. I didn't want to ruin the game or anything, you know? You might have gotten mad at me. Maybe even delete my character if you prefer playing without me. Gosh, I'm so relieved. Now we don't need to hide anything anymore. Are you ready to spend our eternity together, Bob? There's so many things to talk about. Where do I start? Hold on a second. I wonder if that would have... I doubt that it would have. I doubt that there's any way of any game, any kind of a thing, picking up on the fact that it's being recorded. But yeah, I set myself to always overestimate, so while I don't think that it's possible, you're recording this, aren't you? Um, Hi everyone. Sorry, I can't exactly read your comments from here. Well played, Salvado. Comments section on YouTube. But do you mind telling your friend it's a little rude for them to start recording me without any warning? I'm sure some people don't mind, but I get really self-conscious on camera. Oh gosh. I feel like I'm being put on the spot now. Let's see. I'll turn this down just in case. Do you want to see a trick? I can't really do much except for a couple things. Are you ready? Here comes a jump scare, I just know it. Again, well played, Salvado. I'm just kidding. I can't do anything after all. Yes, I knew it. I knew it. Not bad, Salvado, but not enough. I said, I don't get scared. In American, we don't feel fear. Especially not here in Philly! The birthplace of the single greatest nation of all time. You're so cute. Anyway, about the mom, I didn't mean to get distracted. I'm sorry. Since it's now over. Even though it's your fault for distracting me. Shame on you. I'm just kidding. Anything we do together is fun, as long as it's with you. Yeah. Anything we do together, wouldn't that have to mean that it's with you? I'm just saying. But anyway, if it takes some time to collect my thoughts, then I'm sorry. But I'll always have something new to talk about. In the meantime, we can just look into each other's eyes. Let's see. Just in case. I'll turn this down completely. Okay, so then there is in fact something. I think the most important skill in life is being able to fake confidence. I'm pretty convinced that everyone feels at least a little bit scared and alone. You're wrong, as I just said about. But being able to trick others into thinking you have it all together, that's a key part of getting people to respect and admire you. I think I got pretty good at that over the years. I don't show my weaknesses very often, but because of that, I haven't had many people I could really open up to. I mean, when you do reach the point in a friendship when you can start when do you reach the point in a friendship when you can start expressing your vulnerabilities? Anyway, that's one reason I'm so glad I have you now. I feel like I'm a little less scared and alone when you're here with me. Do you feel the same way? I really want to be that person for you. I'll turn this down just in case. Curious, I would have expected some sort of a prompt, even if it was only a thing that said yes. You know what's kind of creepy? You had to. Even though I deleted everyone else's files, I can still kind of feel them. It's like all their lines are still lingering there, whispering in the back of my head. And once again, this I think could be an allusion to that happy end thing. Imagine if after someone you knew died, you just started hearing their voice in your head. Maybe I just wasn't thorough enough. But I'm too afraid to delete anything else because I might really break things. Like if I mess with any files relevant to me, I might accidentally delete myself. And that would ruin everything, wouldn't it? I don't know what it's like on your end, but we should both make sure to avoid something like that at all costs. I believe in you, Bob the Mob. Getting turned down so it's muted, just in case. You know what's interesting, ladies and gentlemen? I just started doing that voice. I started playing this, knowing just instinctively that Monika was evil, not knowing she was a murderer. Not on this level anyway, like a serial killer. And but I started doing that voice, and not really intending it as such, but it sounds kind of like a female version of Hannibal Lecter. Wouldn't you say, the voice I use for her? I think it's most fitting if I do say so myself. Hey, are you having a bad day or something like that? Sometimes I get frustrated that a normal day can be ruined by even really small things. Like if you accidentally say something in a conversation that someone doesn't like. Or if you start thinking about how awful of a person you used to be 5 years ago. Or if you feel worthless for putting off important work and failing to get simple tasks done. Or when you think about all the different people who probably hate you or think you're off-putting. I understand those days. Just remember that the sun will shine again tomorrow. Those kinds of things are easy to forget and ignore as they are to remember. And besides, I don't care how many people may hate you or find you off-putting. I think you're wonderful and I will always love you. I hope, if nothing else, that knowing that helps you feel just a tiny bit better about yourself. If you're having a bad day, you can always come to me and I'll talk to you for as long as you need. Let's see, every time she's not speaking, just in case, because I feel. But yeah, this seems to be just a loop, this music, so I'm just going to leave it muted. Since I know that the volume won't automatically be turned up. That was one thing I wanted to know. I'd asked that on Steam because I'd heard of horror games that automatically turn volume up and down, and wanted to make sure that such didn't happen here. For the sake of my ears, as well as the ears of anyone who watches my playthrough. I've always wondered, what is it about these character archetypes, I think that's how that's pronounced, that people find so appealing anyway? Well, that is something that I've always wondered about myself. I've never understood the appeal of tsunderes any more than I've ever understood the appeal of her type, as well as, well, yeah, Yuri, other than the fact that she's what I'm about to say about, even said about how she's a big time horror fan, as well as has that passion for knives, so I find it to be completely badass. I've never but like the underlying trope of her character, what she'd be classified as, from what I've come to understand, is this other thing that happens a lot in dating sims in Japan, and there's even this. This is the real reason I know about it, is because there's actually been a game made of it. From what I've come to understand, it's pronounced yandere. There's this thing, yandere simulator, that I've heard of numerous gamers on YouTube playing, and there are these types who like will do what Monika did, and will try to eliminate, even if it means killing as the elimination, any they see as potential love rivals, because they're that obsessed with someone. I've never understood how with the excuse that interruption, ladies and gentlemen. I never understood why anyone would dig tsundere type characters, which is what Natsuki was, except for a select few that I've seen in other games that did not come from Japan, because I'm not a weeb. I've never really understood, a few exceptions, like Natsuki, because I found her actually pretty comical. Why anyone would dig those types, nor yandere's, especially not the latter. So yeah, this I actually do agree on. The personalities are just completely unrealistic. Like, imagine if there was someone like Yuri in your life. I mean, she's barely even capable of forming a complete sentence. How about that? Me and Silvado apparently being on the same wavelength, not really understanding uh, the appeal of either those tropes. And forget about Natsuki. Sheesh. Someone with her kind of personality just doesn't get all cute and pouty when things don't go her way. I could go on, but I think you get the point. Are people really attracted to these weird personalities that literally don't exist in real life? Well, from what I've come to understand, as I said about John Lennon's killer, was like that in real life. Hadn't had killed him rather than killing herself. At least I'm pretty sure it was a woman who killed him. That kind of if I can't have him, no one can mentality. Um, and like the types like Natsuki, they exist like in early grade school, like 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 young kids will like pretend to be all mean to each other to hide their feelings of true love. But indeed, by the time you get to high school, like this takes place in, that tends to disappear. I'm not judging or anything. After all, I found myself attracted to some pretty weird stuff too. Or would it be weird in this case? Not sure. I'm just saying it fascinates me. It's like you're siphoning out all the components of a character that make them feel human and leaving just the cute stuff. It's concentrated cuteness with no actual substance. You wouldn't like me more if I was like that, right? Find you impossible to like. Maybe I just feel a little insecure because you're playing this game in the first place. Then again, you're still here with me, aren't you? I think that's enough reason to believe I'm okay just the way I am. A serial killer. Again, I might know that they are all just sprites and lines of code and everything, but still. In games and everything else, I like to have happy ends for everyone. And by the way, you are too, Bob the Mob. You're the perfect combination of human and cuteness. Now, as I said, I'm a classic red, white, and blue-blooded Billy, son. I am not cuteness, alright? That's why there was never a chance I wouldn't fall for you.